Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back into another One Piece spoiler video. Just in case you have not read the spoilers for chapter 1186, make sure to do so. I'll be linking it down in the top comment below, as well as typing it out piece by piece so you can check it out there if that is all you're really here for. And then you can get the hell out of here. Because again, today, we are just here to talk, to yap, to have a discussion. So with that being said, let's get right into it with the first bullet point of the chapter, where we learn the real reason why Esperia Kingdom has been targeted. It wasn't about the slaves. King Leuven lied to us. In reality, what they wanted was for them to hand over Princess Shuri. There we have it. You know, we were wondering what they really wanted. Was it really about the money? Was it about the slaves? Is it Shuri? Or does Esperia have some sort of hidden Void Century secret? Nope. It turns out that they simply wanted the Manmayer girl, Queen Candelle's daughter. And the reason why is because her biological father wants her to come home. We meet him. His name is Manmayer Growlo, is what Redon wrote here. But he also said it could be Growlo. Last video, I said Growlo. Close enough. But we do see that a naming scheme is going on here between Growlo, Gunko. I'm expecting that other Manmayer girl that we saw at God Valley to have a very similar name. Maybe like Gubo or something of the sort, right? It starts with a G and then it ends with an O. So, Growlo says that he remembers Brook because there was a brat with an afro among Candelle's servants at the time he was here. But Brook doesn't know this guy because he was not allowed to come close to him while he was in Esperia Kingdom. See, this is where things get hazy. I believe it is easy to assume that this guy assaulted Candelle, but we don't know. You know, from Brook's perspective, he has no idea what the relationship is between Grow and Candelle. We have no clue, which does lead me to believe that we are going to get another flashback soon. Whether it's Grow's POV, whether it's Shuri's POV, we're going to see what actually went down when he came to Esperia Kingdom in the first place. Was it a Ginny situation, or was it a Magnolia situation? And if you guys forget who Magnolia is, that is Shanks' mom, who actually did like Garling. You know, she was like, hey, Garling, if this island's getting destroyed, where are we going? Look, it's your kids. And then Garling obviously betrays her by stabbing her in the gut. So we don't know the real relationship between Grow and Candelle. I think that is still up in the air, and that is a big question coming off of this chapter. And again, I am excited to see when we're going to learn more about what went down when he came to Esperia in the first place. And also, why now? You know, the guy waited 15 years to pick up Princess Shuri. Why is that? Did he simply not know that she existed until just recently? Did, I don't know, Don Marone tip off the world government and said, hey, there's this blue-haired, heterochromia-eyed girl within Esperia Kingdom. World government, this sounds familiar to one of your god knights. I have no clue. Or maybe it's because of Queen Candelle. After she died, Growlo said, hey, if the mom is dead, the dad's gonna come in. That could be it right there, right? Yeah, because the world government only demanded the 1,000 slaves after Queen Candelle passed. And maybe she was the person holding this dude back, saying, hey, you wait for your turn. While I'm alive, I'm taking care of Shuri. That could be it right there. Again, we do not know the relationship between Candelle and the world government. Maybe she did have that cachet where she simply told them to back off for the past 15 years. Or again, it could just be that they recently learned about Shuri, but then we have to bring up how. So we go on and we see that before Brook can really comprehend what the hell is happening, he does get stabbed through the head by Domi Reversi Princess Shuri. And she uses his attack. I can't pronounce it. I'm so sorry. It's Gavant Bond on Avant. Brook in Japanese and in English, they pronounce it way better than I do. I just cannot do it. But I think that's like the gist of it, right? So she uses Brook's attack on him. It pierces all the way through. And the last thing he sees is Shuri leaving the castle with her dad. Then Brook wakes up later on and we see that the soldiers are there with him. And one of the soldiers say that that wound perfectly avoided all of his brain. It just left him unscathed. No brain damage here, which I think is kind of funny. It's like, okay, like we kind of assume that, but sure, you know, no damage to the main vein or the brainstem can be seen. I think this is just kind of showing that Shuri didn't want to kill him. Like, even though she was like Domi Reversey, she just didn't want to like do the final blow, which is really sweet, right? Even while possessed, even while being evil, she can't bring herself to fully kill Brook. It's either that or he's just really lucky. So, Brook cries when he looks at King Leuven's dead body, and that is where the flashback ends. Brook in the present explains that back then he didn't expect anything because in the blues, you don't really see a lot of devil fruits. He didn't even know that devil fruits existed. He always thought what he saw was simply a hallucination. Those wings, the horns, they never existed in his mind until now. But now that he knows that all of this is happening within Elbaph, now that he knows that Emu can Domi Reversey people, he now tearfully wonders if he can actually trust her one more time. This is the explanation Oda is giving to us in regards to Domi Reversey. I think it's fine. Is it perfect? I wouldn't say so, but again, when it came to Domi Reversey and characters not understanding it in the verse of One Piece, I typically just suspend disbelief. I roll with it. Even if Oda didn't give us this explanation, I'd just be like, all right, you know what? We can go on with it, man. It's like God Valley, right? We just kind of roll with it. It is what it is. But I do want to ask you guys, with this explanation of Brook not knowing about Domi Reversey, with him not suspecting that Shuri was possessed and that she was being controlled by somebody else, is this good for you? So we move on now back over to Emu versus Loki. And Emu, this guy, man, this demon, he can't stop talking. It is hilarious. I love it. Emu says that 800 years ago, this exact scenario is what led to the defeat of the giants. What? Yes, we hear that giants saving their own children is what caused them to lose oh so long ago. And now he says that history will repeat one more time. That's crazy. And I am curious, is this a coincidence, or did Shamrock, the guy who started the game in the first place, did he perhaps know what he was doing by having the God Knights kidnap the kids? I wouldn't be shocked if Shamrock knew about this, because we have to remember, Celestial Dragon God Knight educations definitely differ from everybody else in the world of One Piece. They know about Zaza, they know about Nika, they know about the gods of the One Piece world. If you told me that they also knew that kids were the downfall of the giants oh so long ago, and Shamrock simply wanted to do this again, I'd believe you, man. That's kind of dastardly. But yes, because we now know that saving children doomed the giants in the past, I kind of want to see what's going to happen here now more than ever. Like, if Emu is successful, what will the giants do? Will they repeat their past mistakes? Or will we finally branch out and we won't let history repeat itself? I'm curious, man. I think that is a really cool plot point, and it just shows how effective stealing someone's kids actually are. It's funny because when we first got to Elbaph and they were kidnapping the kids, some people, well, only a handful of people were like, oh, Sai, the giants won't bend the knee because they have 10 kids. They won't do it. It's like, bro, you put your kid up there, man. I don't know, right? I can understand why the giants would bend the knee to the WG. If you have their sons and daughters, dude, it makes sense. So again, what the hell is going to happen current day? Will Emu be successful when it comes to kidnapping the kids? Or will the Straw Hats stop him? Because at the end of the chapter, we see that Luffy shows up with a double page spread. Luffy appears behind Loki and he jumps in and punches Emu's face. Base form! Base form Luffy. Not gear 5th, not gear well, might be gear 2nd, not gear 3rd, not gear 4th. Nope. It is our Luffy landing the blow with advanced Conqueror's Haki, advanced armament Haki, and he says, "Get the hell out of Elbaph, you bastard." End of chapter. No break next week. Beautiful words, right? No break next week. Guys, 2 chapters in a row. How long has it been? Yes, there we have it. I thought this was phenomenal. I am glad to be back in current Elbaph, but I will admit, I still want more of the flashback. Hopefully by the end of Elbaph, we do get Shuri's POV if we save her, because not only am I curious about the Candelle situation, but I also want to know what happened before Brook showed up to the room. How did Growlo appear in front of Shuri in the first place? Did he announce that he was simply her father and then he Domi reversing her? Like, what went down there? We're still missing a lot because we're only getting Brook's perspective. We're still missing the Shuri files. But yes, big stuff here. One more thing I want to talk about before we head out, but the One Piece Wit Studio remake trailer just finally came out. It came out this morning. We got 1 minute of footage, and obviously I can't show it here, but it looks pretty good. You know, we do have Mayumi Tanaka coming back in as the Luffy actor. I have mixed feelings about that, mainly because she's already so old, and if they continue and try to make more seasons of the One Piece remake, it's like eventually we're gonna have to replace her, right? So I don't know if that was the best decision, but then again, we don't know how many seasons they're going to do. Like, ideally, they said they want to get 1 to 2. They really just want to focus on the 4-3 format and bringing that up to modern standards. So we could simply just get only a couple of episodes and that's it. But we do not know yet. It is still up in the air, and this took them, I'd say, like 4 years to make, because they announced it in 2023. Brother, it's coming out in 2027. But yeah, it does look good, so I'm excited for that. They're trying to stick with a more manga-accurate telling of the story. The pacing's supposed to be phenomenal, and we are going to be getting 7 episodes, all coming in at about 40 minutes long. So we got some pretty good stuff to look forward to. But yes, that is it for today, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this chapter down below. What do you think about everything that went down? What are you looking forward to in the future chapters of Elbaph? Do you think Emu is going to keep on dropping more lore? What fights are you looking forward to? Do you think Luffy versus Emu will kick off right away? Or no, do you think we're simply going to cut back to everyone else? There's a lot of good questions here. And of course, in the next couple of days, we will be coming back and reading through the comment section. So make sure to drop your theories, your opinions, and all that good stuff down below. Until next time, guys, you all take care, stay safe, and peace out, brothers.